You're at dinner. Everything is normal. Then she says, "Can I talk to you about something?" Your stomach drops. That sentence feels like a horror movie soundtrack. You nod calmly. Inside, your brain is already packing its bags. She says, "When you didn't text back last night, it made me feel unimportant." You hear, "I'm failing." She's expressing a feeling. You're hearing a verdict. And that's where everything shifts. Here's your first breakthrough. Conflict doesn't scare you. Abandonment does. You don't fear disagreement. You fear that disagreement means she's about to leave. So your nervous system reacts like the relationship is on fire. And that reaction shows up in two ways. You either defend or you disappear. Defending sounds like, "I was busy." You're overreacting. Disappearing sounds like, "Fine. I won't say anything." Neither builds connection. Both build distance. Now imagine the scene visually. She's leaning forward. You're leaning back. Arms crossed. Tone tight. She feels unheard. You feel attacked. Nobody wins. And here's the second shift. Arguments don't kill attraction. Defensiveness does. When you defend, she feels dismissed. When you shut down, she feels alone. Attraction fades not because of disagreement, but because emotional safety disappears. Now, let's add some humor. You treat every disagreement like it's a relationship exit interview. "Thank you for your time. HR will contact you shortly." But most conflicts are not breakups in disguise. They're bids for connection. Read that again. When she raises an issue, she's not always trying to criticize you. She's trying to feel closer. If she didn't care, she wouldn't bring it up. She would slowly detach instead. That's scarier. Here's the third shift. Conflict is not threat. Conflict is data. It tells you where needs aren't aligned. Strong relationships are not conflict-free. They're conflict-skilled. That's different. Now, let's make this practical. Next time she brings something up, do 3 things. First, do not interrupt, even if your brain is screaming. Second, say this sentence. "I can see how that would feel that way." Notice something. You didn't admit fault. You acknowledged her experience. That alone lowers tension instantly. Third, ask, what would have felt better in that moment? Now you're collaborating, not defending. That's emotional leadership. Leadership isn't being right. It's guiding the emotional direction. Now imagine this scene. She says she felt ignored. Instead of explaining yourself for 5 minutes, you say, "I didn't mean to make you feel that way. That matters to me." Watch her shoulders drop. That's safety returning. Now, let's address your deeper fear. If she's upset, you assume attraction is fading. So you over-apologize. Or you overcorrect. Or you emotionally withdraw to protect yourself. But here's the truth. Over-apologizing lowers attraction. Emotional withdrawal lowers attraction. Calm presence raises attraction. You can disagree calmly. You can say, "I see your point. I also experienced it differently." That's strength. That's polarity. That's mature. Now imagine a couple arguing. Voices raised. Defensive energy. That's exhausting. Now imagine a couple disagreeing calmly. Eye contact steady. Voices grounded. That's powerful. Conflict handled well actually builds attraction. Why? Because it builds trust. Trust builds desire long term. Here's something most men never learn. If you stay calm during tension, you become emotionally anchoring. Women feel safer with men who don't emotionally explode or vanish under stress. And safety fuels long-term attraction. Now, let's go deeper. If conflict triggers panic in you, ask yourself, what am I afraid this means? Usually it's, she's going to leave. That fear drives your reaction. But here's the reality. Healthy women don't leave over one disagreement. They leave over patterns of emotional shutdown. Big difference. Now here's your challenge. For the next 30 days, treat conflict like collaboration, not combat. If tension rises, slow your breathing. Lower your voice. Respond instead of react. And after resolution, reconnect physically. Touch her hand. Make eye contact. Smile. Show that conflict didn't break the bond. That reassurance strengthens attraction. And in the next video, I'll break down the early signs she's emotionally detaching during conflict before it turns into resentment. Subscribe if you're done fearing arguments. Watch the next video if you're ready to lead during tension. Because relationships don't end from disagreement. They end from emotional avoidance. And you don't have to avoid anymore.